Okay, hello everyone. Good morning and welcome to Oracle Talks. Happy Thursday and happy full moon and happy 12/12 gateway as well. As you are coming in, please feel free to say hello. Let us know where you are watching from. Share with us what you are drinking. Right now I have my chaga elixir from Four Sigmatic here that I just made. Yes, happy full moon. Happy full moon. All right, I'm gonna give a few minutes for folks to get in. Welcome to anyone who is new. Please subscribe to the channel. Please also like the video as well. Your subscription helps to get me to 1,000 subscribers, which opens up lots of new functionality with YouTube, which I would like to partake of, of course. Greetings, good morning. And then for those of you who are returning, welcome back. Drinking water, yes, water is good. I also have some water too. Always have water. And water charged with the blue aqua flame. Yeah. All right, hello. And I'll probably wait until about like minute 3 before I start, but just washed my hair yesterday, so it's gonna continue expanding over the next couple days. But it's looking good, looking healthy. I've been having to do like deep conditioner every week now because we're in, even though it's still kind of warm here in California, obviously like the humidity is even less. So that additional moisture is absolutely necessary for black hair during this time. Yes. I'm excited because this weekend I'm going to actually be in Connecticut for the year-end holiday party with Grit and Gratitude. So I'm super excited for the party. I'm not excited about being in the cold because it's Connecticut. So I went shopping the other day and like got some things to kind of buffer that. But I mean, for the most part, I'm pretty much going to be in the hotel the entire weekend. It's just, you know, the transit there and the transit back is where I'm going to be like padded up. Anyway, how's everybody doing? How's everybody feeling with this full moon? I mean, for the most part, I've been fine. I definitely was feeling tired pretty early last night. I mean, in general, during this time of year, like I definitely get tired earlier because, you know, sunset is like at what, 4 o'clock? It's not that bad, but it's pretty early. So yeah, like a few hours after sunset, like I want to go to bed and it's like only what, 8 or 9. And so it is what it is, but yeah. Everybody doing okay? So I am going to do the channel message again first, just like last week, and then we'll get into supportive colors and we'll see if there needs to be cards pulled from the other decks that I have as well. Let me, as folks are coming in, actually check in real quick for the upcoming astrology, because that is part of it. Oh, you'll be in LA for your birthday. When's your birthday again? That's pretty dope. Okay, so we have full moon in Gemini. Oh, yeah, we had the conjunction with the Venus and Saturn last night. So that might have been either triggering yesterday or today. See where, of course, where Saturn is, particularly in your chart, Saturn and Capricorn, to see where this is going to be relevant. I know I talked about it last week, but I forgot for today. So yeah, we're going to have that. And then we'll have the conjunction with Pluto then, of course, tomorrow. So we'll probably be feeling a little bit of that today. Today is also the day that Chiron goes direct. Chiron has actually been retrograde in Aries. So that has been about helping us to reshape and to heal things around our personal identity, Yeah, basically that. So now it's going to be moving forward. So that should be really helpful, especially moving into the new year, feeling like we have a clean slate and can think more clearly about what we're feeling and what we're experiencing. But yeah, as I mentioned, tomorrow Venus conjunct Pluto. So if you are finding from like yesterday through tomorrow, possibly into Saturday, that things are a little intense, it might be because of those conjunctions. Um, Although I do think it really is going to depend on where this is in your chart. So it might not be. It might, because I mean, ultimately Venus is a benefic, so it does bring blessings. It does bring healing. So I think if there are tough energies around this, that means that there's still things that need to be healed. Otherwise, there will either be some developments for you, or there won't really be much of an experience with that. Oh, February 2nd. Okay, cool. Oh, you felt triggered last night. Yeah. It's been interesting for me because, I'm such a strong empath, although I do have a lot of boundaries, but there's been a lot that's been going on with my family and just like family stuff because Capricorn is in my fourth house right now. So it's been interesting to delineate or to keep my mind focused on the fact that a lot of the stuff that is coming up is actually not mine. It's just what I'm picking up from blood relatives, right? Um, so that is tough to feel and just allow it to be there and to not try to fix and just allow it to move, and to be really clear about not self-identifying with it because I mean it's really truly not mine. um, so yeah, I mean I I can definitely get that though, that if there is your own stuff that's being brought up, yeah, a conjunction with Saturn and Pluto for sure. So we're not quite out of the woods yet. Let's try to make it into next week, and we should be fine. We don't have any big transits until Sunday. Um, as an FYI, Saturday the moon will be opposing Saturn and Pluto, so that might be an emotional, either Friday night, Saturday morning could be an emotional time. Just be on the lookout for that. But on Sunday we do have Jupiter, which is in Capricorn now, trining Uranus retrograde, and that's happening 2 degrees. So I will be posting about that on Instagram next week. But basically, like Jupiter. Jupiter's like a lower octave version of Uranus, and they both brings blessings and surprises and new things entering in. This is a very beneficial transit. So whether something like literally happens on that day or a day or two before, more likely, see where that might be popping up in those particular houses. So where Capricorn is and Taurus is specifically at those degrees, though. Okay. Because that should be, yeah, it should be 2 degrees. Let me double check. I feel like Jupiter would be farther along. Oh no, it's not. It's not moving that fast. Okay. So yeah, 2 degrees Capricorn, 2 degrees Taurus. And then for next week, Wednesday, we will have the third quarter square moon in Virgo. Okay, so starting from that day and moving forward, that's going to be the waning part of the moon. So a time of release, a time of transformation, a time of reassessment, because we'll have the new moon solar eclipse Christmas, and that will be the following week, right? So basically from the 18th through Saturday, though, Saturday being the winter solstice, I really think that's going to be a very powerful time of clearing and release, in particular because it is Virgo. That Virgo Pisces axis is very potent and powerful for the purification of karma, for transformation, for perfection, for divinization, all that kind of thing. So this is mirroring, if you will, the first quarter square moon that we had in Pisces, which would have been last week. And that date was Tuesday the 3rd. So the day after Jupiter went into Capricorn. But yeah, so see, just pay attention to that. There, you might see some things pop up for you or related to those same issues that were brought up by Pisces. Or let me get you the degrees for this specifically. This is at 26, 27 degrees of Virgo. So see where that is in your chart as well too for clues about when there's going to be some processing. But ultimately, like, this is still going to be in the context of the new moon in Sagittarius, because that's the lunar cycle that we're in. So it's a purification of karma, the release of karma, transformation, and a perfecting of, you know, that Virgo related stuff, but in the context of Sag. So always keep in mind the cycle that you are that you're in. Okay. So yeah, it's a weird vibe, weird energy, just because it's mutable and it's moon. So it's like, you know, mind and emotions and just a lot of nebulousness. But we're getting closer and closer to cardinal energy. I mean, literally next Saturday, we will be back in a cardinal sign, which is Capricorn, which will be moving the energy forward much more clearly and directly. So, yeah, just hang in there. I think though the bigger emotional stuff is just going to be like these next 1 or 2 days, and we'll definitely get a break with the Jupiter Uranus trine. And then we'll be able to ride that for a couple days. And then we'll have the last quarter square moon. So a little up and down. And just ride the wave. Ride the wave. Okay. All right. So again, welcome to those of you coming in. Please subscribe if you are new. Please like the video. And then, of course, if you are local to Southern California, next Saturday on the winter solstice, I will be doing the Night with the Oracle event. So that is going to be a group channeling, both for the collective as well as specifically for the individuals who are there. And we will be doing some group healing right at the end as well. So it should be lovely. It's been at least a year, if not longer, since I've done, it's actually probably been longer, to be honest, since I've done a Night with the Oracle event. So I'm looking forward to starting that up again. And I might try to do an Oracle event like around each changing of the seasons moving forward. But we'll see what Spirit has me do. All right, y'all ready? Cool. So let's do some deep breathing together first to kind of sync up. I'm going to be channeling messages from my higher dimensional self at the monad level for each of us in the soul family regarding specifically this 1212 gateway. Now, normally I don't follow a lot of the calendar stuff like 11/11, 12/12, because it's like our calendar is made up, right? But this happens to be just like with this past Lionsgate, some different kind of energies coming in. So that's why I'm calling this a 1212 gateway channeling. But I wouldn't expect that to be the case every year, because I don't necessarily get called to that unless there really is something there. It is an anniversary, though, of December 2012. December 12th, 2012. Kind of like when the gateways or the threshold was opened for the ending of the one age and the beginning of the new, which was basically kicked off with the winter solstice that time, December 21st. And that was a really powerful time. So this is our seventh go around from that time, or the time leading into that. So it's preparation for that corridor. I mean, we've already kind of been sitting in it, but we're now kind of like really being pulled by that specific wave. And I'm sure you've also been noticing how different you feel. This is what it feels like when you truly have new soul contracts, when there truly is energy shifts, energy changes, when there truly are karmic clearings that have occurred. You're getting a greater and greater experience of what unity consciousness feels like. And with every subsequent experience of ascension, activation, etc., that you experience moving forward, because you will continue to do so. You'll continue to come into greater and greater wholeness with all parts of the soul, not just what the linear mind keeps focused on, which is the human. This experience of this space, this openness, this wholeness will continue to increase. There will be less and less fracturing of your consciousness, less and less disassociation in the emotional body, less and less things within for your energy or your electromagnetic field to get stuck on. So take 5 deep breaths on your own, closing your eyes, sitting up straight, palms up. And first and foremost, as these deep breaths are occurring, calling in the power and the presence of the ancient spirits of the elements of fire, air, water, and earth. To set and hold a sacred healing container. And container of protection for each of us individually, where we are, as well as for the collective monad group. And we ask for the balancing of our elemental energies within the body, within the consciousness, within the spaces in which we are residing. Also calling in the 12th dimensional consciousness of Earth to heal and protect us from our lower polarity, and the 12th dimensional consciousness of the Sun, our great solar being, to heal and protect us from our higher polarity. And asking for the recalibration of our electromagnetic fields, releasing old harmonics, old magnetics, and picking up these new emanations to align with a greater state of unity consciousness, the greater realization and awareness and experience of our true soul nature. Asking for the removal of any and all harmful energies, entities, spirits, thought forms, emotions, psychic cords, attachments, AI programs, inorganic programs or substances. And instead purifying, sanctifying, and divinitizing us within and without. Calling in Archangel Michael, Archangel Gabriel, Archangel Uriel, Archangel Raphael, Archangel Sandalphon, Archangel Jeremiah, to also set up a sacred healing container and container of protection around each of us individually, as well as the full monad group. Staying connected to your breath. Continuing to settle in. Okay. How's everybody feeling? I'm going to jump into the channeling. Or continue, rather. That was a transmission and opening up of the space. Okay, so first I'm going to get counsel from the ancient spirit of the four elements, and then the archangels that I called in, and then the final message will be from the heart of Gaia. Okay. Everybody doing all right? It's quiet in the chat. Hopefully I didn't put anybody to sleep. So this is going to be guidance for a highest trajectory path. Moving forward for the days and the weeks ahead. Ooh, all this energy. Oh, nice. You worked with Haniel last night. Awesome. Yeah, I didn't call Haniel in, but Haniel is awesome. Ooh, this energy is big. I'm trying to like settle into it before I get these cards, because I can tell it's a lot of energy that's going to come through. So directives for how we're needing to show up in order to serve. Mm. All right, so starting with the ancient spirit of air. I think I'm gonna have to go like step by step with this. I'm like wanting to move faster, but in order for me to really focus, I gotta slow down. Not that it seems like I'm moving fast, but the energy within is moving fast, and that's that Gemini, but single card, please. All our directive for service. I would like a single card. What popped out and over is the Sun. There are two other cards that popped out, and those are Princess of Swords and Four of Cups. Bottom of the deck, the Universe. I'll go ahead and take that. Let's get Ancient Spirit of Fire, or the element of fire. The stack that just came out, it was a big stack, and it had the Queen of Cups on top. Oh wait, do I have to give this message first? Hold on. So in the spiritual context from the ancient spirit of air, our directive is to focus on the solar, our solar beingness, our solar consciousness. And I reference that, a lot, that our consciousness and consciousness in general, for what we tend to relate to in terms of sentience, meaning self-reflection, is based off of templates from the sun, right? Or the star energy. So this does represent unity consciousness. This does represent Christ consciousness, higher self consciousness. But essentially becoming more sun-like is the objective. Because that's your true nature. Both in consciousness and in body. And then when it comes to the physical world, the directive is to incorporate the sun more and more into the daily life. So more sun-based foods, which are going to be those foods that, like plants and fruits, which literally give their nourishment directly from the sun. Letting the sun be our source of power, right? Like solar charging, solar panels, things like that. But the power of the sun is the main thing as it relates to the physical world. Also, being out in the sun helps to entrain you to that unity consciousness. And helps you adjust to the changes, because this is the great this is the great entrainer, if you will, of our solar system. Entrainer meaning that that frequency which has the power to harmonize all the others. Like this is the dominant energy. Okay. And now obviously there is distinction with the different planetary bodies and our individual souls as well. Like we have our own thing, but we are entrained in this frequency, this greater frequency, which holds all of us together. So even the earth is entrained or harmonized to the sun. And then also playfulness, the importance of playfulness, especially during this time for those of us in the Northern Hemisphere. That amplifies the nature of the sun during the darker months. Toronto is very great this time of year. Yeah, the note still applies for playfulness. Even if it's gray, still getting out. And of course, UV lamps and things to mimic, but fire in particular. So if you have a fireplace or candles, that warm yellow light also helps mimic. It's not the same, but it helps. Okay, so ancient spirit of fire. Yeah, but again, for the spiritual nature, model yourself after the sun. Interesting, 8 of Swords. It's important to actively engage with identifying whatever the negative is, whether it's in belief systems, thoughts, emotions, habits, etc., and facing it head on. So that it can be dissolved or at the very least quarantined. But there's also an element here of once it's been recognized or quarantined to giving it up to the spirit. And letting spirit handle it, heal it, remove it, etc. So, practically, if for the most part you are working in flow and in clarity, and then confusion or self doubt and things pop up, know that that literally is not yours. So, call a spade a spade. Yeah, hold your boundaries. Because it's some low level spiritual warfare connected to the emotions, but it's a it's a belief system thing. But again, once you recognize it, basically once your peace is disturbed, identify that thought, that feeling, etc., as it truly not being your own. Give it up to God, give it up to Holy Spirit, and then you'll have your peace restored. Because this is about a purification of the mind. The mind is a subset of consciousness. So the consciousness part is working on your spiritual nature, your deeper soul nature. The mind is the personality construct, right? It's your humanity, basically. So fashion your spirit, your energy, etc., off of the sun, and be a steward of the mind. And this, again, is not a thing of like controlling the mind. It's when at this point in time things pop up that still your peace, still your joy, still your flow, recognize that that's actually not yours. Face it head on. Release it to God, release it to the Holy Spirit, and reclaiming the sovereignty over your mind. And that's going to free you emotionally so you can move on. That's going to help to clear the emotional waters. And that's going to help bring your mind into alignment with your spirit. Okay. Ancient spirit of water. Knight of Wands. Well, that's actually the Sagittarian energy, which is interesting. This is a lot of purification. This doesn't actually feel like something that we have too much control over. It feels like a lot of this is happening on our behalf. Hmm. Knight of Cups again, Princess of Swords. Yeah, that spiritual warfare, boy. Yeah, there is this continued this continued purification for us, and particularly of um, the waters, the emotional body, the magnetic field, the feminine principle, like all the gamut, right? The full spectrum, in order to protect what's true. So as you do the work that is being advised by, or being directed rather, by the fire element, that helps to speed and more deeply penetrate the work that's happening in the waters. That Knight of Cups is all Pisces energy too, and that's Neptune. So yeah. Okay. Ancient spirit of earth. Too many cards. The Two of Pentacles is on the top. The Star. So, I mean, basically we have two stars because our sun is a star. I'm hearing that phrase, the way out is in. There's also a reminder that a lot of the deeper healing and wholeness can actually be found through connection to the earth, as opposed to looking up and out. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm getting a lot of different messages. So I just want to ground this because this feels like this could be a whole other tangent. So I want to keep things focused. Yeah, this is definitely about the connection to earth. So that's interesting because on one hand, like everyone is a star seed truly, because regardless of whether or not you have awareness and or experience with other stars, our sun is a star, therefore you are a star seed, right? So also just be mindful of that, of honoring what is here and unique to this space. But also I'm getting a message too that for many of us, if not all, the answers that you seek are in relation to your relationship with the earth, both now, previously, and past incarnations, as well as the future. Okay. Ooh. I'm going to shift to the archangels next. Any questions so far? Yeah, that is an important message. Because I don't even think the message about you are a star seed, regardless of whether or not you have awareness and or experience with other star systems. Our sun is a star. So there's something here about healing an apparent disassociation. Maybe because of wrongs that need to be righted, or just the myriad of experiences that have been had here in ancient Earth times. And when I say ancient Earth, I mean like way ancient. Before what's popular recently, which is, Atlantis and Lemuria. Like, this planet's been here for a long time, and humans have been here for a long time as well. There's so much more. So that may be important for folks to remember, especially if there is an addiction to finding the self outside of here. Not to say that there aren't influences and experiences with other star systems. I definitely think that there are. But it's probably going to be more related to how old of a soul or what region of space of the universe you come from, the different experiences you may have. Interesting. Let me check in one more time on this. See if there's anything else. Ooh, Judgment card. So there may actually be some awakenings for some of you, if not all, about your ancient Earth experiences. Now, for you, depending on where you are in your cycle, this might be waking up to experiences a couple hundred years ago, a couple thousand years ago, several tens of thousand years ago, which would be, the quote unquote Atlantis, Lemuria. Lemuria is much older. Or even before that, really more ancient Earth time. So that might be popping up, especially over these coming days too, with this Jupiter-Uranus trine. Because the last Judgment card is actually Uranus. So it might be a remembrance of old stuff. It's, because of the wisdom of spirit and of your soul, really. if that is the case, it would only be an awakening of those things that are actually helpful to you on your journey. Like, you're not going to be bombarded with the myriad of experiences your soul would have had. It's going to be what's relevant to what's going to be harmonically resonant to what's occurring here. So whatever the same kind of themes and issues that you may be working through. So just know that you're always only shown a snippet of the whole, so that you can actually comprehend and make use of it and take part in helping to heal. Or just resolve, because it's not even necessarily healing, but sometimes just the seeing, just the witnessing is enough. And it can also offer a new opportunity of developing a different and new relationship with the planet, potentially. Or just with your own sense of incarnation, what that means. Because the earth elements, on the physical, obviously we talk about the physical earth, but on the spirit, this is talking about that which is made manifest from the formless. We'll love to do some more Akashic work. Yep, you definitely can. All right, so let's get to the archangels. So we'll start with Archangel Raphael. Your messages. Oh, they got a couple cards. King of Pentacles on the top, but single card, please. Okay, we got 3 of Pentacles. So this is very much a focus on yourself. It's a individual, personal card, first and foremost. So doing the things that you need to do to continue to make yourself better, and by better meaning operating in optimal flow. And this is practically, because it's Pentacles. So shifting, how much you sleep, when you go to bed, more likely than not, it's going to be going to bed earlier, getting more sleep, staying conscientious about your eating habits, what you're eating, what's actually supporting health and wellness, what's making you tired, what's diminishing your health and wellness, etc. Being mindful of those addictive behaviors and keeping them in check. Yeah, and just staying focused on your work. It's a very simple energy I'm picking up, but it's very hyper-focused and it's very singular focused. The energy's not moving all over the place. It's not being distracted by a lot of different things. Which means you can continue to make a lot of personal progress, make a lot of progress in your personal endeavors with this energy, because it is focused. And as you do that, as you basically keep your head down and keep moving forward, staying focused on what you need to stay focused on, and again prioritizing the optimization of whatever is necessary for your flow, things will continue to open up and you'll continue to have success. Any last messages on that? You got the Tower and the Queen of Cups. Yeah. It's interesting. The vibe I'm getting from this is that the simplicity of doing what I just said is actually what is helping to purify karma and remove old patterns for you, because you're in general not being swayed like you may have been before, or at least it's being lessened to a significant degree of just going where emotion takes you and really being just disciplined and consistent in the small things. And that's actually helping you to, one, be able to listen more clearly and more, and to trust what comes through your intuition, through spirit, but to also understand how energy works, how timing works. Because it is definitely a different experience here in the physical world. So mastery development for sure. Okay, so Archangel Michael. Interesting. 8 of Wands. Very nice. 8 of Wands, of course, is Mercury in Sagittarius, and we just had Mercury go into Sagittarius on the 9th. But that is opportunities and blessings opening up, and also a lot of communication, both in the spirit as well as in the material world. The sense that I'm actually getting from this is that there's a lot of doors that are opening, some of which you may be aware of, some you might not. But I'm hearing a way is being made for you. It's almost like this this 3 of Pentacle focus and work is helping to magnify and generate a lot of this 8 of Wands. Like, it's so subtle, but it's like it's gonna help to teach you like how spirit really works, how energy really works. Because this will keep building up and magnifying and magnetizing, which will amplify the speed and the power of the manifestations that are coming down the line. Mm-hmm. Again, trusting the intuition. There are definitely some blessings coming. Okay, so let's go. That was Raphael, Michael Gabriel. Three of Swords. And I'm hearing a clearing away, actually, with that. What's being cleared? Primarily, okay, so this is where the later degrees of Capricorn are going to be. So basically like 19, 20, all the way up to 29 degrees of Capricorn in your chart. So yeah, you should already know what that is, because we've been dealing with the Capricorn and Cancer energy all year. So this is where Gabriel is working. So purification of the mind, purification of the heart, and or both, depending on what's going on there. And that's probably also related to the message from fire and the message from water. Yeah. But ultimately, it's going to bring us to a place of good balance. Let's see how much longer with this. I mean, we are about to have a new moon eclipse. So I feel like this, and it's going to be Capricorn. So we're still going to be sitting in it, but it's going to be early degrees of Capricorn, if I remember correctly. So okay, so point blank, we'll still be dealing with this stuff until we get to the basically like Gemini season or the Gemini nodal change. The earliest would be Pisces time, but really it's feeling more like when this nodal transit happens, when it completes, is when the work around this is going to start to fade. What's the degrees of, why am I looking back there? 1 second, y'all. The degrees for the upcoming eclipse is, it's actually 3 degrees is when the eclipse is happening. And then the new moon, so the new moon technically happens at 4 degrees, and then the eclipse happens just a couple minutes later at 3 degrees. So basically 3 and 4 degrees, that may be, if you are looking at your own natal chart, I mean, you might literally have your house, a difference in the houses right there. So I would say in terms of the eclipse, go off of the 3 degrees, okay? Just because that's more specific to the time of the eclipse as opposed to the moon. If you want to get really specific, and that's going to be for those of you, again, who have a house like right at that cusp, and you have to get specific. And that's like 3 degrees. Let me get really specific too. 3 degrees, 39 minutes for the eclipse. Okay, not lastly, Uriel, and then we're going to do Jeremiah, and then Sandalphon, and then the Heart of Gaia. But I'll do a quick check-in after I finish with Uriel. Message from Archangel Uriel, please. Single card. Nine of Cups. This is feeling like there's a fine line between addiction and happiness. So let me get clarification. Because that feels 50-50. So I want a message that's going to be for the bulk of us that are watching. I mean, I know I'm doing like a monad reading, but Hanged Man, interesting. This is like soul healing. Oh, I mean, this is literally monad healing, actually. So this is where a lot of the transmutational karma, Uriel seems to be very associated with that. And would have been kind of working behind the scenes with that for this past month and a half. I mean, yeah, Judgment card again, Uranus. It's resurrection, getting a second chance. Wow. And this is also Neptune and Uranus. It's a lot of purification, guys. Deep, deep gratitude for that. Let's see what, if anything, we need to do to engage with that. But I get the sense that, again, it's happening on our behalf. This is feeling like a dance between the, the human levels and the higher levels. We have, those handful of very specific things to do on our end, and they're doing their own thing. You got the Chariot. Yeah, keep following the path of the soul. And that's what we've been learning with this North Node through Cancer transit, is getting more clear about the true nature of our soul, the messages coming from that, and moving forward with it. All right, so let's see who wants to go next. Sandalphon first, and then we'll do Jeremiah, and then the Heart of Gaia. Single card, please. Six of Wands. Interesting. Okay, so this is the reminder that actually the connection to Earth is safe, it's solid, and it's protected. For a long time, that connection was, at least from what I was being shown and seen over the last couple of years, was very much under attack and distorted, and had been that way for millennia, for many, but not all of us. Those cultures which have been able to still live connected to the land, haven't had this experience, but for most of the modern and developing worlds, this has been an issue, but no longer. There is victory there. There is safety there. That sovereignty has been reclaimed. Mm-hmm. So it's been reclaimed in the spirit, and now the other layers of reality are coming into alignment with that. Because remember, the formless creates the form. So now that the formless, now that the spirit has been shifted, the material world necessarily has to shift to accommodate that. So that's good. Jeremiah. 5 of Pentacles. Oh, this seems to be getting back to that message earlier about the entrainment from the sun. It's creating new templates for us. So Jeremiah and the corresponding energies are supporting or protecting us during this transition. But there's also this thing about us coming into a greater sense of our soul sovereignty here on the planet in this incarnation. Like really being empowered for who and what we are here, actively engaging. Yeah. So that we can work more conscientiously in the world's more active engagement. Okay, and lastly, the heart of Gaia. Interesting, King of Swords. One message that's coming through is that there is actually a lot of help from the spirit beings of the planet, so different elementals, etc. One second. It's very interesting. There, in general, the vibe I'm getting is this distortion energy of meaning distortion in terms of like how we are showing up, either how we have been or just humanity in general, possibly just in recent times. And of course, that's going to be relative to the planet because she's at least 4 billion years old. But there's this thing of a distorted way of working with the planet, of not fully being aligned with it. Like there's this domination and manipulation energy as opposed to symbiotic relationship with. Now, this can be related to a distortion of the solar consciousness and or a distortion in the divine masculine principle. And divine masculine principle is not gender specific. What's that about? So this is my second clarification, and both of them are kings. Like the first clarification, I got the King of Wands. Second clarification is the King of Pentacles, and they're all like on these chariots. I'm assuming all of them actually are on chariots. I think the knights are all on horses. Yeah, I mean, it's very much this manipulation, and manipulation meaning dominion of what's there to suit personal interests. I'm also getting the energy of like war, abusive magic, all of that, greed. Okay, this is a read. All right, so how can we support the reconnection to our reconnection to the heart of Gaia? Strength card. This is the feminine presence. We got Neptune on the bottom. So I'll remember, we'll put the link to the Neptune channeling I did a couple weeks ago. I believe that was in November. Because that has a resonant frequency to that heart energy, that cosmic heart energy that I've been talking about. But you know, the daughter of the flaming sword, this is a very different energy compared to the masculine energy that's been showing up. This is power, but there's also connection to the material world, like there's balance there. So even though this is a woman being shown, but this is, you see she still has that halo, right? Here we have a halo with the wands, King of Wands, representing the solar consciousness, right? Or consciousness in general. So this is a beneficial, balanced masculine energy embodied within the human being. That's coming through for me on this card versus these other king cards. It feels, and this is obviously not how this normally resonates. This is for this message, but the energy off of these cards is coming off as a very distorted masculine principle, meaning distorted consciousness and distorted use of power and sublimation and dominion of the material world, the natural world, whereas this is the more healed, or this is what the balanced embodiment of the masculine feels like. This is something you have to feel into because we're talking about the heart, right? So the strength card is associated with Leo, of course. That Leo energy, the word I'm getting is protector or protection. That's the vibe from that. Because, I mean, you see, this person is still like in armor and things like that. So these are obviously like, you know, modern things. So it's not that you can't have those, but doing things in such a way that it is protective of the planet and operating from a place of honor and legacy. Anything else we can do to help with that? I mean, Eight of Pentacles working for the earth. I mean, that's really what it is. And you got the Fool on the bottom. Who is also connected to the natural world. It's tamed the wolf, tamed the negative aspect within. The healed, holy sun. But this person is just immersed in what's there. So this seems to be more of a protect the earth versus a fight for the earth. Although, of course, I'm sure there will have to be some fighting. Yeah, Two of Swords, peace. So whatever can be done to support the protection work, both in your own life and with organizations and things like that, is the way to go. I was expecting this lovey-dovey message from Gaia. Gaia's like, no. This is the issue. This is the issue. And ultimately, since we have the King of Swords here in the center, like this is consciousness shifts. There are those who have strong influences over consciousness. And I would say if you are here and watching and drawn to me or other spiritual things, you are a strong influencer of consciousness. So where this strong emanation of consciousness goes, it influences the younger energies around it, or maybe the less strong consciousnesses, to essentially, like, for lack of a better phrase, do its bidding, although you're not really like telling people what to do. But, you know, your consciousness shifts do make a difference, as well as your practical application of those principles and form. All right, Earth is just not having it. All right, any questions? I'm going to do a quick check-in for the week ahead. Definitely different messages than I expected there to be. But, you know, we're sitting in all this earth energy, and there's going to be so much earth energy for the year, so it's good. No questions? Everybody's good? How's everyone feeling? How's the energy feeling? Okay, that came out quick. All right, so where we're starting right now is the star. Okay, so that ancient spirit of earth message definitely coming through on this for sure. But this is also a unification of consciousness and really operating from your true soul nature and being connected to earth, right? Opening up the heart. This is clarifying the 3 of Wands. So this is the ascended path, a higher path for us for the week ahead. Our advice in general, as we move through the week, is the Knight of Pentacles, which is about moving slowly, being consistent, again, what we have to take care of, and prioritizing routines and structures for the material world. Nothing new there, but it keeps coming out, which means it needs to be reinforced. We have to keep coming back to that which works, not going outside of what we really have resources for. Slow and steady wins the race, which probably is going to be more and more difficult to be comfortable with as we enter into the year of the rat, because that energy likes to move very quickly. But slow and steady wins the race. This is going to be the path of success, not the rat energy, okay? So in the next couple of days, so midway through the week, we have the Princess of Wands. So this for me is actually picking up that Sunday energy with Jupiter trine Uranus. This feels really good. This feels like opportunities. At the very least, fun, joyful, playful energy. So if you do have plans this weekend for any parties or meeting up with folks, I would say try your best not to cancel on those, right? Get out there, have some fun. Really embrace the sun energy in your life. All right. And then we end the week, which will be next Wednesday, with Neptune here, which is beautiful because, again, just as I was talking earlier with the astrology for next week, we're going to come into that third quarter square moon in Virgo. So that Virgo Pisces axis of purification of karma, of healing and release is definitely going to be there. This will be a time to rest and just surrender to the flow, because then by the time we get to the latter part of the end of next week, we're just going to be sliding into the winter solstice and the change of seasons, the change of the energy into cardinal, but still also change of seasons into winter. Bottom of the deck is the Fool card, which has come out again reinforcing that we are on a new soul path. So to come to it with open heart, okay, wonderment, hope and visions for the future. It's a really positive energy for this week ahead. Not to say that, of course, that there won't be things that come up, but overall, the energy is looking very nice, very sweet, very uplifting. So let's get a supportive color. For everyone. And this is from The Secret Language of Color Cards by Ina Segal. Now, I also haven't done this in a while, but if anybody has any quick questions that they would like spirit guidance on, you can put those in the chat, and I can check in with that real quick because this wasn't too long of a channeling. Sagittarius energy is just not the one for like being in things for too long, so which is fine. Which is totally fine. All right, so the color we got is plum. It's really beautiful, actually. Well, of course, we're staying in that purple region. So plum is number 41. Okay, and then it is overcome your challenges. Plum is a color of devotion, dedication, and commitment that connects you to your heart and life purpose. Creating deep bonds in friendships and relationships, it also assists you to stay strong through hardships and difficult situations. Plum is a color of deep inner strength and faith. Use plum rays to overcome challenges and discover your life purpose. If you are facing something difficult, make sure you surround yourself with plum. Wear plum clothes, shoes, or jewelry. Eat plums. Paint with this color. Or visualize a ray of plum to soothe your heart and soul. Find the gift in this challenging experience and allow its insights to come into your mind. Say, Divine Spirit, please use the plum ray to guide me through any challenges I may experience with ease, grace, and softness. So that feels like it's kind of the undercurrent that's there with the Venus, Saturn, and Pluto conjunctions, and the moon opposing those energies. That's kind of like under the surface. But at the top of the surface, which is what definitely was coming through from Spirit for the week ahead, is very much a more healed, higher, creative, fun-loving energy. So when those negative things come up, definitely lean on plum to help you with that. Okay, and I'm going to pull an Ascension cards. And nobody has any individual quick questions? Not that you need to, but I will offer that. I don't even know why. That was like an actual yawn. It wasn't a spirit change. I went to bed early last night too. Ooh, season's changing. Let's get a Ascension card. So a divine being or energy that we can also walk with this week to support us in the journey ahead and to also make the most of sitting in that lighthearted energy. Oh, interesting. We actually got the gold and silver violet flame and the gold and silver cloak. So obviously gold and silver are really important, and violet coming up again related to that plum color is important. So let's start first with the gold and silver violet flame, which is card number 4. This says Archangel Zadkiel and Saint Germain are keepers of the violet flame of transmutation. When you add the gold of wisdom and the silver of grace and harmony, you create the powerful gold and silver violet flame. The angels suggest you invoke this mighty energy to clear the ascension path ahead of you and keep your light pure and clear. When you send the gold and silver violet flame to people, situations, and places, you facilitate wondrous transformations. This powerful light transmutes the old and raises everything to a very high frequency. Affirmation is, I am the gold and silver violet flame. So yeah, that very much is resonant with what was coming through with the plum card, this color. So I would say definitely, yeah, imagine that violet flame and swirling lights of gold and silver. Gold is for protection, revitalization, harmonizing to unity consciousness. Silver is a purifier and also a healer. So very interesting. So Archangel Zadkiel coming through. I would say work with Archangel Zadkiel with this. Yeah, help keep your energy clear. All right, and then the gold and silver cloak is card number 26, which is an 8. You have chosen the card of perfect harmony. So again, this thing about balance, and I was picking up a lot of that with the star energy from earlier. When you balance your wisdom and power, giving and receiving, your connection with hollow earth and the seventh heaven, it offers you the courage to love. Interesting. This is bringing me back to the message with Gaia and the strength card. Because the strength card is actually like courage. And Leo is love. Cancer and Leo are both love. This makes you magnetic to people, animals, and situations so that you can attract all that is for your highest good. Your guidance is to bring yourself into harmony and balance. Then visualize yourself wearing gold. Then visualize yourself wearing the gold and silver cloak so that you draw in angel sonics or harmonics, basically, to purify the energy around you. Expect the unexpected and miraculous. And the affirmation is, I am in total balance and harmony. So I really like this because, do this purification work with the gold and silver violet flame. And then once that is done, which is, bringing you to a place of balance and harmony, then imagine yourself covered with the gold and silver cloak to help maintain that as you go throughout the day. Okay. I will be doing that today then. All right. So Elena says, any directions or insight on my current work project? So annoying when that happens. Chariot card, bottom of the deck is High Priest. So whatever this direction is, it's successful. So keep going in that direction for sure. Because this definitely seems to be leading you more towards a path of building of your finances, building up your money. So it's good. And it seems to be in alignment with your soul work, or whatever that aspect of that work is to be right now. Considering making a major life change involving moving west to east and ending a long-term relationship next year. I have a decision already, just need guidance on timing. Okay, so when to move? When to make the change? Oh, that came fast. Hierophant came out again. Bottom of the deck is the Magician, Mercury. So this, just on face value, would be Taurus season, which would be the end of April into beginning of May. So probably May, since Mercury is here, because that's actually the beginning of May is when the nodes shift. So basically that time frame. I feel like who's going retrograde at that time though? So I'm not a fan of like making big moves like right when a retrograde is about to happen, but 1 second. I know Venus is going retrograde later in May, but that's okay. So Pluto's going retrograde at the end of the month of April. And then Saturn goes retrograde. Saturn, Jupiter, and Venus goes retrograde mid-May. Okay. If you can get it, I guess, done more by the end of April, that'd be great. But I mean, this is pretty clear. Taurus season. So, all right. You're welcome. Any other quick questions? If not, I am going to bounce. You're welcome. Ooh. So many relationship changes coming up. I mean, I've been telling y'all though, so if it's healthy, it's fine. If it's not, yeah, it's very much up in the air. And it's really just going to depend on who's doing the work and not on one hand, or if soul paths are really going in different directions. Higher education prospects in 2020. Ah. Oh, you're coming from Asia. Nice. Single card for clarity, please. It's looking good. 2 of Cups. Looking good. You might really have to like literally decide between 2, but the energy is good, so I don't think there'd be any issues. And more likely would be starting for the fall. Yeah. All right. Is that it? Ooh. Okay. All right, so looking at some of the other colors in there. All right, y'all. So those are your messages. We just had a quick council with the ancient spirits of the elements, fire, air, water, and earth, as well as with 6 archangels and the heart of Gaia, the cosmic heart of Gaia. So take what resonates, of course, leave the rest. And if you would like to book a 2020 astrology reading with me, I still do have some openings. I will be working through the entire month, although, of course, time will be limited because we still obviously have a holiday coming up. And I've already done the quick video on the 2020 astrology. It's not covering all of the main transits that everyone is talking about. It's going to be talking about the ones that aren't as well known to be a supplement to what you would normally get if you're doing any kind of forecast. Because I'm wanting to offer something different than what you normally get. So that's already done. I still have to do the 2020 spirit forecast, and that will be a channeled message. And then, of course, the videos for January. So, yeah. And then as a reminder for the January monthly videos, those are going to be available on a sign-by-sign basis for $10, or you can get the full set of 12 for $40. And then eventually I will actually set up a membership thing, but that's going to be happening later in 2020. But Yeah. All right, y'all. Love you so much. Reach out if you want to do a session, whether it's a year ahead forecast or just a general reading right now to close out the year, messages for the upcoming year, whatever it is, at my website, andersonalchemy.com. Please sign up for the newsletter, of course. Subscribe to the channel, all the things. Tell your friends and family. And oh, you're welcome. And enjoy the mysteries. Just do your best. I mean, like, honestly, like, we very much are in a space of transition right now. So just whenever you feel like you can't get tethered down to something or grounded down to something, like, just focus on your work, what it is for you to do. Stick to your routine, keep your head down, keep moving forward. Like, that really is going to be the thing for this next year, like all year. Trust me. So, but I think everybody will be fine with it. All right. Love you so much. Have a great day and see you soon. God willing, of course.